I discovered a $100 bill floating on the lake's surface. Although I was puzzled, I still picked up the bill. But soon I realized there were large amounts of cash scattered across the lake. And at the end of the trail of money were several backpacks. With so much cash, I planned to take it all. But I quickly realized these backpacks were quite heavy, so I needed to figure out a way to transport them. I hurried to find a kayak, planning to load the money onto it and carry it away. But before I could push the kayak into the water, I took a hard fall. My companion James heard the commotion and rushed over to help. At that moment, I realized one person couldn't possibly carry away all this cash. So I immediately pulled James aside and showed him the money I'd found.
Shit, Ricky's gonna flip.
Ricky's just take it.
Even though I wanted to ditch my boyfriend, James felt something was wrong since he and my boyfriend were good friends. But I forcibly covered his mouth and told him we could split more money between the two of us. As long as James kept quiet, I promised to be his girlfriend. James agreed after hearing this. Just then, my boyfriend Jack suddenly walked over. To ease the awkwardness, I quickly changed the subject and told him about finding the cash. After counting it all up, there was a total of $8 million. But Jack had no interest in this windfall and left the area shortly after. Seeing Jack leave, I didn't care at all since I still had James with me, which was enough to get the cash out of the forest. We first tied the bags to the kayak, then glided downstream along the river. Meanwhile, Jack suddenly encountered a long-haired man. Through their conversation, Jack learned that this man was also searching for the $8 million. It turned out the long-haired man was a pilot who wanted to keep the money for himself during transport. So he first threw the cash out of the plane, then jumped out with a parachute to fake a plane crash. But in such a vast forest, finding the money wasn't easy. Jack was shocked after hearing this. Meanwhile, James and I had just reached shore when we discovered we'd lost one of the money bags. I was furious and started blaming James. He insisted he'd tied it securely and it couldn't have fallen off. I quickly grabbed my phone and called Jack, since Jack was good at swimming and I wanted him to help search for the bag. After Jack looked at his phone, his panicked expression quickly caught the long-haired man's attention.
You little fucker!
While trying to escape, Jack crashed into a police car. The officer approached to check on Jack's injuries, but just then the long-haired man burst out of the forest and knocked down the police officer. The officer hit his head and stopped breathing. The long-haired man drove off with Jack to search for the missing cash. At this time, James and I were still waiting for Jack to arrive, but soon we noticed a police car approaching. I thought Jack had betrayed us, so I grabbed James and tried to run. The long-haired man brought Jack down and threatened that I had to leave the money behind or Jack would die. But just as I was hesitating, the police officer woke up.